I'm the mayor of the city of Eindhoven. It's in the south of the Netherlands. It's in the center of Europe. And I'm as well chairman of the Brainport Foundation. It's the economic development organization. It's steered by a group of entrepreneurs and scientists, representatives of the knowledge institutes and governmental side as well. So we make a program as well. We got a very new way of working together, and that's what we call smart society approach. In the meanwhile, I'm the chair of the region, the metropolitan region Eindhoven, and it's more or less near to a million citizens we got over there. Well, we all talk about smart cities. I'm chair of the Intelligent Community Forum in New York. We organize 400 regions worldwide and cities that are looking at a technological related economy. So what we see is that we try to have the community involved. And you see worldwide there are a lot of smart cities. I think on this moment more than 15,000 worldwide. But then we just talk about implementing new technology into the city. Quite often companies like Cisco are involved. They come by and they say, well, we got something smart. Can we implement it? And the government is paying for it as long as the budget lasts this. But we talk about smart society because we are very much convinced about the fact that within 15 years, 80% of the people will live in cities. And that means that, well, this is a huge assignment for local authorities because when so many people are coming to a city, it will be tough. But in the meanwhile, we see as well that all the existing systems, mobility, energy, food supply, water supply, education are outdated. So we have to transfer these systems as well. And I'm very much convinced about the fact that we will not succeed to do so with a vertical approach. And that's what I mean with that is that the national government can organize this. Maybe it's different in Singapore, but in I think 99% of the world, it will be impossible because national governments, and I've been in the House of Parliament for 13 years, national governments are ruling a country by legislations, law, regulations, and that kind of things. And when we look to new technology, let me give you an example. I did the legislation about the public transport system in the Netherlands in 1998. It's still the existing legislation in the Netherlands for public transport systems. I had heard about internet. I had never used it. So on the moment you make a law and you can do your very best, but you do not know what kind of technology will appear tomorrow or next year or the year after. And you cannot adjust a law every day, every week. So to make a new law, it costs you 2 years, 3 years, and then the technology will have passed you. So we need to find another way, a far more adaptive way to implement technology in society. And that's something that really triggers me. So what we do is we say on the meso level of society, that's the level where the cities, in the cities, where all kind of stakeholders are coming together, we can organize new society by experiment. Not by legislation, but by experiment. And when it's okay, then we can scale it up. When it's not a success, then we just stop and do something else. A very important point here is that I do not only want technology, I want technology that's made for people. So that it's beneficial for people to improve their life. So I want to have these people involved in this process. Well, IoT is very important as a new stage of connectivity. And it's not only IoT, it's Internet of Everything, not only for things. So you can see several domains, households, public areas, and with corporates as well. So what we will see, for example, and there is the best added value coming out when we are going to use IoT is within the manufacturing industry. The profit will be high when we can organize the manufacturing industry in a completely different way. Now you must see that quite often you got an original equipment manufacturer, it's the end producer, but they got all kinds of suppliers in the first, second, third and fourth tier. We can make them in connection with IoT. So we can control the whole process of our research, development and manufacturing in a better way than we did in the past. And this is the vertical way of connection in the manufacturing process. But there is an horizontal way as well. Because when we look, for example, to the suppliers in the first and the second tier, it's very helpful for them to make a connection between all their activities. For example, to know what is happening in one supplier, it's very sufficient then you know exactly what is doing in another supplier. We got the Brainport Industry Campus. It's the Industry 4.0. You have heard about Industry 4.0. It's a complete new way of manufacturing. It's, well, in Germany they found this out. There are a lot of German cities coming and companies coming to Eindhoven to look what we are doing on the Brainport Industry Campus. This will be the first, and it's a huge premises, this will be the first place for integrated manufacturing, and I call it the European supply of the supply chain, European center of the supply chain. So when people are interested to know what's going on in Industry 4.0, I would like to invite them to come to Eindhoven and see this real new development on Industry 4.0. Well, it's great that you got here the IoT. I met yesterday your minister, Balakrishnan. I'm very impressed about his knowledge, about his vision, and well, we exchanged a lot of insights together. What you see here is that there is a presentation of all kinds of corporates and even startups, etc. And they show each other. What the key point here is, and I call it managed serendipity. You know what serendipity is? Serendipity is that you invent something, well, not foreseen. So here, all kind of people are meeting each other and say, wow, are you doing that? I'm doing this. Maybe we can combine it. And in the crossovers, we find new solutions. And that is, I think, a key thing. That nerds here, in Eindhoven, nerds is a key word. We really are proud on our nerds. That nerds are meeting each other here and can make life a little bit better, the world a little bit cleaner, and the city a little bit greener. Well, there are several, but one key is that we can learn a lot from each other. I'm very much convinced about the fact that we cannot do it alone, nor Singapore, nor we. So Singapore is in a certain sense vulnerable, it's strong and vulnerable on the same time. So if we want to implement all kinds of new technologies, and we have to research them as well, and maybe I could try to explain it on the other way. So future is not going to develop from A to B. Future is going like this. You have a success, a mistake, a failure, a success, a failure, a success. And it's a quite intensive process. When we can join this process together, and we see some very attractive collaborations with the Singapore society, governments and corporates, then we can share our investment money, our experiences, and we can speed up the process. For example, this morning we were at the Technological University here, and then we said, well, NXP is doing something in Eindhoven and is doing a lot here, but can't we share these developments of autonomous cars and that kind of things? So we are going to collaborate on that point. And that is, well, that's the way we have to solve the grand challenges in the world. Like not only working within the city with its different stakeholders, but between cities worldwide as well, to support each other, to implement new developments and improve the life of the people in short time.